Whatever you. It is
We're
nice.
live.
We're live.
We're
Nice.
live. Okay, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah,
Do you
man.
even know how to kick things off?
I don't. I've been so lucky to be blessed with. Oh, you froze for a second. We were just talking about how great your internet was, and I'm like, wow, he froze. You messing with me? Okay, good. You're good. I was like, whoa, I've been so lucky. I have this co-host that is just. There's a list. It's a long list of things you do well. But kicking off the episodes, it's got to be like really high up on the list of the things you do well. But I'll take a shot at it because I like these episodes. I really do. And we can get in a whole bunch of stuff. We get to talk to Luka Nation this way, right? You guys are sending us your questions, and we get to answer directly. I envision a future with our NFTs, wink, wink, coming where we'll have another box. And we're going to be bringing you guys in. And actually, you can go right ahead and rapid fire ask your question, going live with you guys. The lucky ones who have the right Tiger tokens. But this is like, it's fun for me, I mean, we have now, put together episodes on so many different topics. And the reason why we get to put together so many different topics is because there's so much going on in the hobby and tangentially with the hobby, right? Things that are close to the hobby. We got things being invested in. We got things being bought. We got the digital stuff going on. We got all these crazy things going on. And with all those things going on, people have a lot of questions. And we get a lot of questions. So it's fun. I get to give my take. My take, which is probably 55% right, 45% wrong. That's
you guys that watch The Office, you know this, where I'm coming from here. It's sometimes I start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going.
I don't know where it's going.
I just hope to find it along the way.
Explain it to me like I'm an 8-year-old. Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
So Luka Nation, we're going to kick off an awesome show today. Everything Cage said is 100% true. There's so much going on. Sports cards, NFTs, digital, all that stuff. Let me make an announcement here. So we are... No, not one of those. Not one of those. We are a podcast that listens to our community. And overwhelming, you guys have supported the NFTs. The NFT project that we're coming out with on Wednesday, Lucas Tigers, the NFT content. But a lot of you guys hate it. And there's no way to sugarcoat it. You do not want NFT stuff in the hobby. A lot of content creators I really respect, Crossover, Chris Hodge, Shy Way. You guys, I mean, the sports group that we're in are like, guys, hobby is hobby, NFTs are NFTs. So here's what I'm going to do. This is what's going to happen, guys. We're starting a digital NFT publication. So stay tuned. Okay. And if you're a writer, if you're a creator and you love NFTs, reach out to I am Andrew Goldberg directly. Okay. We're going to create a blog, a newsletter, all the way over here. It's going to be digital NFT publication. Okay. Our sports card page, nothing's going to change. We're going to have an episode every single day. We're going to be talking about hobby and sports cards. So why did we do that, Cage? I'm springing that news on you. I was going to tell you earlier when we talked, but
it just sounds like more work.
Well,
it sounds like more work.
For me, I mean, I think you spent the whole day in the pool today. So
no, a couple hours. I did.
Okay.
And I snuck in some dinner before this episode. A little Panera. You ever do a little Panera? Nice.
Panera's delicious. I wouldn't get Panera delivered, but Panera's delicious.
Panera. It's really delivered. It's like 4 blocks away. It was here in 5 minutes.
The point is, guys, we believe in NFTs. We believe in the hobby. We also believe that as much as Fanatics, PSA is raising their prices and all that stuff that's going on, the little guy's screwed. I've said that 100 times. But you don't believe me? I don't give a F. I really don't care. The little guy is screwed in the hobby as it stands right now. And NFTs are where people are turning 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 into 100K. You don't want to be a part of that? No problem. And I understand why you'd say that. So we're going to put our NFTs into this digital publication. We're going to put out content for free. And we're going to keep the show running, okay? It's an announcement. If you're interested in being a part of the new venture, reach out to me. We could use the help, and it's going to be incredible. You're a part of it. You're a 50% business partner, brother.
Yes. So, by the way,
we're married. We're tied at the hip.
I did not know that he was going to be springing this on. And it makes sense, right? Because we're doing our crypto casual show, and some people love it, some people don't, and we can have a home for it. But guys, don't take our word for it, right? A lot of the reason the hobby was as successful as it was over the last couple of years is none other than Gary Vee and the Gary Vee influence. And not him personally. I mean, obviously, a huge part he played, but just the mindset that he preaches, right? The mindset that he was, hey, mug life, garage sailing, flipping. A lot of the people in our group are people who are Amazon resellers. You know what I mean? Like people who are part of Luka Nation now too. It's how you can take a little bit with some sweat equity and turn it into a little bit more, and then continue to do that over and over again. And what drew Gary to it, the cards, was that there was an avenue to do that for the little guy that Andrew's talking about, right? And he used to do those garage sales. What are they called? His little video things? Trash talk, right? He used to do those, and he would buy some mugs, he'd buy some stuffed animals, he'd buy some fun stuff. He'd get back to his car and say, boom, I got this thing right here. He wanted $5. He didn't get it. I'm going to take this. I'm going to sell it for this and take this. And then I'm going to buy a card. And then I'm gonna grade the card, and I'm gonna sell the card for even more. And that's how I'm gonna turn this couple $20, $40, $80 into $100. That $100 is gonna turn into $500. I'm gonna use cards to turn that bankroll. He did one today, right? The trash talk video is not out yet, but he was posting some videos today. He did a garage sale today. Exactly, Ryan. Exactly. And if you look at the videos, I think he posted one on Twitter. He hasn't done the full-on edited trash talk yet. Not the video of D-Rock taking a piss in the tree, which was hilarious. I mean, Gary ran up behind him while he was peeing and took a video of him and put it live, which is poor D-Rock. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. He took a video, and he was holding up a Denny's mug, right? And it was exactly like ones we've seen him do before. But it used to be that Denny's mug. I'm going to turn this. It was $1. I'm going to turn it to $15. I'm teaching people how to take $20, $40, $60, $80 and then turn it into $800. And then, but here's where it got different. It used to be buy a card with that, buy a LeBron with that, buy a Giannis. You know what he said today? He said, buy an NFT with that.
Did he really?
He said, I'm going to take that $800 and buy an NFT with that.
Yeah, because he's not a fucking idiot. Because he knew that Fanatics and PSA and the grading companies and the corporations, they squeezed out the profit. Am I allowed to be honest?
What you're saying. The little guy who you are always, always looking out for. The little guy, which I'll never be confused for. Because there's nothing about me says little guy. Right? Nothing. But that was look at the shift, right? So really what Andrew's saying here is, if you don't love this stuff, that's fine. We're still card people. Guys, I'm buying cards every day. Anybody who jumped on my live yesterday saw me and Ian open 3 boxes of cards and get garbage. Thank you, Panini, for putting an auto in an $800 box that no one's ever heard of. Big win, Panini. Thank you. I feel like I got my money's worth. Point being, I'm still opening cards. I'm still going to open cards. I'm still going to shows. We're still going to talk cards. We're still going to give card plays. But this is one of the huge tenets that Andrew has brought to the show, and it's been beaten into my brain every time we talk, which is we start to find value. We still have to take care of the little guy that doesn't have the bankroll that is right now needed in cards. With PSA closed, without that magic PSA sprinkling multiple on everything, you can't do that anymore. NFTs are another area where it's possible to do that, and it's a little easier for a little guy with a small bankroll to build that up. And that's all he's saying, and I agree with it because it's amazing. I wish I would have done it more. What we can talk, right, on this other show. We could talk about what I've done in the last 6 months, 5 months,
you should.
May, 4 months. In the NFT.
You know what's funny to me, Cage? I need to jump in here. You know what's funny to me is last year, a lot of the people that today are criticizing NFTs, a lot of people last year, maybe a year and a half ago, they were telling their parents that they're going to make money in sports cards, and they were getting that same reaction. The hypocrisy is all-time high. Like, people hate NFTs, but just a year ago, they might have been telling their friends that they're going to turn 5K into 25,000. In sports cards, and their friends were thinking that they're idiots, and they're like, this is going to be a bubble, it's going to burst, why would you do this? And those are the same people that are discouraging others from getting into NFTs, and that to me is so interesting. Now, one thing, paper market bubble can crash anytime. It can crash. Anything can crash.
Stocks can crash. Paper market, like Dunder Mifflin? What do you mean the paper market?
Well, AF Alam can't put together full sentences, so he's just typing fragments. But it's a good point anyway. The bubble could crash at any point. No one's telling you to put your entire savings into this. Just like no one's telling you to put your entire savings into any card or any mug or any sneaker or any stock or any investment. But that doesn't mean that you can't learn and get educated. So there's the education level of things. You know how I know we made it? We have now bots in our
what are they
in
saying?
Our chat.
What are they saying?
Inappropriate stuff. I blocked them. I have that strength. I could block people. So watch out.
I know you
Nah,
block me every now and again. It's great. I'm like, what did Andrew do? And I can't talk. I'm muted. He's muted me before, guys. It's no fun. He has powers, and he uses them unfairly. So what do you got for Coffee with Cage today?
Done.
Because I'm
Blocked.
excited.
Blocked. So, first question, Joe LeConte paid. All right. So, if you had a budget of $20K to spend on NBA cards and had to hold for a minimum of 10 years, would you rather purchase one LeBron Topps Chrome PSA 10 or sprinkle it around several other superstars like Harden, Durant, Giannis, Kawhi, Westbrook? You're not frozen. My internet is perfect. Dude.
100% one LeBron. Definitely one LeBron. Easy one LeBron. Listen, guys, the part of the reason we're talking about, spreading money around, diversifying portfolios, you name it, is because the pendulum has kind of swung in cards. And while I think there's still money to be made in some base cards and some plays in, buying in the off season and selling when the season starts, kind of riding those supply and demand dips, peaks and valleys. I think really what we're seeing is scarcity rule, blue chips rule right now. Now, can that change? Sure. Right? Can that change? 100%. But to me, where the money is going in cards right now, it's in those names. It's in the Luka, the Giannis, the LeBron, and then going back Jordan, Kobe, that kind of stuff. That's really it for cards right now. And it's for the rarer stuff. So, yeah, I mean, if you're giving me that choice, if I'm putting money in Westbrook, what's funny about that, I think Westbrook goes down from now on. I think Westbrook, the time you could have gotten in Westbrook was the first day of the National, and the time to sell Westbrook was the fourth day of the National after the trade news was announced. I think that when that trade happened, when that news came out, the prices like almost doubled, and they baked a championship into his cards already. Just like, oh, he's going to Lakers, boom, make the prices what they are. Now he's got to show up, he's got to play, nothing can go wrong, he can't get into it with LeBron, they can't lose. Otherwise, all those things bring the cards down. And even if they win a championship, I don't think you see much of an uptick from the run-up that the Westbrook cards have already had after that trade news is baked in. We talk about different exits, right? Different exit strategies. I think now if you're holding Westbrook, I think I would sell it, right? Because you have so many chances during the season for it to go down. He could get hurt. The team could not play so well. They may, load management with some of these guys. I mean, they have 47 All-Stars on the team that are all like 65 years old. You never know what they're going to do. His numbers might not look so good. And ultimately, I think if they win a championship, you're going to get back to where you are right now, maybe slightly higher. So for me, LeBron, and that's because LeBron, if he wins, great. If he doesn't, you're talking about the scoring title. If he doesn't, you're talking about him winning next year. If he doesn't, you're talking about he's going to hang around until he has the scoring record, right? If he doesn't, okay, he's still going to play a couple of years because he wants to play with Bronny. There's just so many different things for LeBron. And what chart are you looking at right now?
Westbrook. Sorry, guys.
Westbrook.
Yep. All-time highs.
It's crazy. And you know what? It's great.
Low pop, though.
He may have an awesome season. He may do, great things. He's shown that when he is the man, he can basically average a triple-double for the whole year. We've gotten a little nuts with stats, with fantasy. And obviously he's got his best chance to win a ring this year that he's ever had in the league. So we'll see what happens. But to me, thoughts on LeBron's rookies that are low pop and not the Topps Chrome? Fleer, Topps Contemporary, Topps Pristine, etc.
Topps Contemporary is a beautiful card, by the way. Can I say something before you jump into your answer? There's this magazine. I think it's the Basketball Fanatic from the Real 27 guy. And I remember I got the first issue, and it was comparing Michael Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron James cards, not in value, but in quantity. And LeBron has the most rookie variations there are. So just something to keep in mind. I would think Kobe, because you think there's so many different Kobe rookies. LeBron has more rookie cards, more rookie variations, Fleer, Topps, Bazooka, all that stuff. So just something to keep in mind.
Well, listen, when they know someone like that is going to come out and be huge. Remember, Kobe was, he was a great name, but he was not the number one draft pick. He was not, like, wow, here comes the second coming, like Zion. That was a huge thing. It's, a huge newsworthy thing. You knew he was going to be number one. There was no one else who really could ever go number one. That doesn't happen that often. LeBron was a clear-cut number one. These are like generational stuff. And the printing presses get turned on for that. Ohtani is another example. I think Ohtani set the record for the most variations of his rookie card. That said, I liked the entry for LeBron at that lower level because the Topps Chrome, it's difficult for people to get into that card. We know people from our own groups who are. Is there talking? I hear something. We know people who are. Made a lot of money on the bazooka ones. You talked about the bazooka ones, gold bazooka, you name it. And we saw Nat Turner just post one that wasn't the Chrome, but it was like numbered to 23. I think it was a PSA 8. So I mean,
Cage still has, guys, I'm telling you, man, once you get to know me, I can't wait for my legacy because I run this show.
You can't wait for your legacy. What does that mean?
Well, because
wait for your legacy?
Cage can't even figure out how to use Do Not Disturb during these episodes. So he's always doing this thing when people are texting him during the episode.
What's a legacy? What do you mean you can't wait for your legacy? I think you meant to say something else there. You mean like when people write about you? You mean you're like like your eulogy?
No, legacy. Like when they create a movie about me.
Oh, so like when the Netflix special of Andrew comes out.
And this is like the rookie season of Andrew.
All right. Listen, I hope I'm there for the veteran seasons, right? The rookie season, LeBron.
Well, you are. You're the Shaq. You're the Shaq of the team. You're my Miami Shaq.
I'll take it. I will take it. Miami Shaq. I'm more like a Lakers Shaq over here. You could still be Kobe. You can still be Kobe. Yeah, man. I mean, listen. I can't shut the calls off. You never know what's coming in, so I have to at least see what's coming in. So
what could be possibly coming in at 6:30 on a Saturday?
Listen, some of us have to see which ladies are calling us. Not all of us have this whole like I don't need ladies. I mean, that's you. That's you. I mean, it's like if the right lady calls, I have to make sure that I'm available. I mean, this is the way it works. I mean,
married man with kids.
It's a curse. It's a curse I have. It's just one of those things.
Are you ready for the next next question?
Shoot.
So, Cage, someone's saying hi to you. Hey, guy.
Look at this guy. That's awesome. He's in a bunch of stuff. Raccoons, secret scrolls, one that hasn't even been announced yet. There's some cool stuff going on, man. Some interesting stuff. Go ahead.
It's 2027. Fanatics is in full swing with all the licenses. In all sports, what 3 current sets are the most popular? What 3 now extinct sets from the past are the most coveted? I can repeat that. That's a tough one.
No, I get it. So we're talking about three ones in 2027 that are the sets, and which ones are coveted from they're not being made anymore. Which I get it. If we were to do it now, you're talking about like Prizm and National Treasures and stuff versus like exquisite Nat. So we're going into the future. By the way, a quick answer on this one. We've all basically written cards off Fanatics, Panini.
I can't with this guy.
What's the matter?
You're back.
Yeah, exactly. It took you longer to laugh and make a fool of yourself than me to come back. So it is what it is. So very easy, very straightforward. I think what's funny about it is the 2027. Think about the person who asked the question. You have to take this 5-6 years into the future before Fanatics even has that legacy, before they have everything. So we've all kind of taken this news and are like, oh man, cards, it's going to change so much. But it's so many years into the future. So let's pause. Let's take a break. So what do I think? Right? I believe that we're going to see Fanatics come up with their own brand. I don't think that they are buying this now to do like, we're going to just bring Prizm and it's going to be Fanatics Prizm. I make jokes. I don't think that they're doing this and spending this kind of money to basically just print what's already been printed, right? Panini didn't do that. And obviously some of those legacy brands we all love now, right? Panini didn't say, well, you know what? Topps Chrome is awesome. We need to buy the Chrome brand. Or, hey, that Upper Deck Exquisite, That's some sweet cards right there. You know, Carwin did a real good job with those. Let's buy the license for that. No, they spent the money, they got the license, and they built their own brands, right? They built their own stuff. They built Prizm, they built National Treasures, they built Immaculate, you know, and over time they've become iconic brands. So much so that what we hear so much from fanatics, you know, this fanatic stuff, we hear so much from fans is, well, they're gonna have to carry it forward. Like they're gonna have to buy, you know, Chrome, or they're gonna have to buy the licensing, or maybe even buy Upper Deck. Possible? Sure. But why wouldn't they come up with their own fanatics? I mean, what's another shiny word, right? We got refractors, we got silvers. Like, anybody come up with one, right? Metal. Well, metal's out there already, right? I mean, Fleer metal, Leaf metal. I guess, I don't know if the word metal is trademarked. You know, they could call it Fanatic Shiny for all we care. There's going to be another word that Fanatics comes up with that's their version of Prizm Shiny cards. This way everybody gets their Chrome Shiny, you know, refractor type stuff. There's going to be a high-end stuff, right? They won't call it National Treasures, right? But they'll come up with another name, something like National Treasures. It won't be Immaculate. It'll be like Perfection, Fanatics, Perfect, whatever the heck the word. I'm not a brand guy, but they'll, and if I had more time, they'll have their own brands. Now, the three that are iconic, you know, going forward in 2027. I'm trying to think in 2027. I would imagine that Prizm is still, you know, the numbered Prizms, the PSN Prizms will probably still be sought after, because in 2027 you're going to be at the end of Giannis's career. You'll probably be, you know, Luka, Trey, Zion, LaMelo. These guys, they will have played out their career. They'll be in the prime or towards the end of their primes. Like people will have been collecting those guys' cards. Those will be the LeBron now. I mean, LeBron's in year 28. But, you know, they'll be the stars that people have watched for the next 5 years. And because of that, those cards will be iconic. Part of, people won't realize is part of what makes exquisite, you know, those exquisite cards, part of what makes those and the Upper Deck stuff so cool and so sought after is because those are the autos of LeBron. Those are the autos and the big fancy cards of Michael Jordan, right? That's where you got Michael Jordan, right? You know, that's part of the allure with those things. So it's going to be the Panini stuff that has that kind of allure 10 years from now, whether it's your National Treasure stuff, Prizm stuff. I mean, that's the National Treasures, you know, maybe Flawless or Immaculate. You know, I can't tell you which one. I know you like, what's that one you like with the
I like Topps Dynasty.
Topps Dynasty is cool. Topps Dynasty for baseball stuff. Topps Dynasty is cool, but I don't think that's going to be an iconic enough card. Hit the nail on about exquisite with Jordan LeBron. Thanks, Spurs cards. I mean, it really is the case. But right. So 10 years from now, right? It may be National Treasures, because look, Curry's National Treasure order. Maybe Curry, well, it's 5 years from now, 6 years from now. People are going to be looking at Curry the same way. You know, maybe they're looking at, you know, not Jordan, because Jordan's not Panini stuff, but maybe they look at Luka that way, you know, with the Luka signatures on these things. You know, we'll see what happens in 5 years, but I don't think Exquisite or any of those brands will be what we're talking about in 2027. Just because.
What about 2012 Prizm?
I think 2012 Prizm is listen, it's an iconic set. I really do believe that. If I'm allowed a knock on it, the knock is this. What makes Exquisite great, what makes like the 2018 Prizms and the National Treasures, or 09 National Treasures, right, huge, is it has Curry, right? The 2012 Prizm set is awesome because it has, you know, people compare it to the 86 Fleer, right? Because it's like, wow, this iconic set. It's got a lot of...
But who's the Jordan?
Boom. That's the question. Who's the Jordan in that set? You got some great guys, right? You got the Kawhi, you got the Anthony Davis, you got the Clay, you got Jimmy Butler, you got Bradley Beal, you got Kemba Walker. I mean, how dumbed down do you want to get with Kemba Walker? But you understand what I'm saying, right? You got these great guys. But what makes that 86 Fleer, what carries it, that top, you know,
if it
was just Karl Malone, it wouldn't carry. If it was just Ewing, it was just even Barkley or Elijah, it wouldn't carry the same way. Think of the 2012 Prizm set like the 86 Fleer set without Jordan. So it remains to be seen. Especially, you know, what if Kawhi now just takes the league by storm? He's still young. What if he wins another 3 titles and wins this? You know, he I don't know. He on his way to those next 3 titles, he finds a personality And he also, like, he becomes the guy.
It's a big if.
It's Anthony Davis. I mean, you know what I mean. One of those 2012 rookie guys, becomes a huge star. Then you got a different story. But right now, that hasn't happened. It's been 10 years. I mean, there are some good rookies in there. It was Jordan's third year, though, right? Universally considered rookie. Yes, Sharkwich, but the 2012 Prizm, where they're, quote, universally considered rookies, it's not the rookie year for guys like Clay. Clay's got a 2011 card. So does Kawhi. He's got those upper deck cards. There are, just like 86 Fleer had guys like Jordan, Ewing, Barkley, Malone, who were in Clyde Drexler's rookie. Drexler was drafted the year before Jordan. It's part of the reason why Portland didn't draft him, why they drafted Sam Bowie with the second pick and waited for Jordan, and Jordan fell to 3 because Portland had drafted Drexler there. They weren't going to draft Drexler and Jordan, which, I mean, in super team world today, they would. But, it's yeah, you're right, Sharkwich. Check it out. You didn't get caged. No, it's info, man. But yes, 86 Fleer. There's no way that the same draft had all of those guys in it. It's just there wasn't an 84, 85, except for Star. Star had cards. And notice, Ewing's got star cards 85, 86. Jordan's got star cards 84, 85. Barkley's got star cards. Malone, Stockton, all these guys. Olajuwon, Dominique Wilkins. They didn't all come out the same year. So it's pretty similar.
I think a big, really important answer to this 2027 Fanatics is who's going to be the rookie class then? That's good. Rookie classes drive everything in basketball. They really do. It's if there's nothing else that we've learned, because there's a lot of uncertainty with that Fanatics deal, it's the rookies drive it. So let me, Andrew Hips, I'm going to get to your question about UFC. Sure. I just want to. This question is basically on the same topic. It's, what do you feel will happen with Luka Autos once Panini no longer has that NBA exclusive license?
Well, isn't he signed as aren't there exclusive,
With
athletes?
signing an exclusive deal with them earlier this year, should collectors hold on to them now or hope his mom signs Fanatic cards? MBT,
Great
Will
question.
asks.
Will.
By the way, really quick, Will, MBT Sports Cards, a lot of you guys don't know, he's helping us out with a lot of stuff. One of the things he's helping us with is this Luka Nation DraftKings on fantasy. So if you guys want in, we run it every Sunday morning, DraftKings. I'll put the link in our link tree at the end of the show. So if you guys want in, MBT, Will, he created Luka Nation DraftKings for us. The link will be in our bio on Lucas Tigers Bronze podcast.
That was awesome. That's a great question, Will. It's an interesting thing, right? We've had signers who were exclusive, right? Which is why you saw, Michael Jordan and LeBron were Upper Deck exclusive, right? And, people have opened Panini products over the last couple of years, but LeBron autos were not in them, right? I mean, that's going to be the same type of scenario with Luka, right? As far as auto stuff goes, you're just not going to have this stuff in there. I got to tell you, it just shows the value of the brand, right? Because we have a basketball guy on. We've had a couple of guys on who know about the different offerings from Upper Deck. That hardwood stuff. I want you guys to take a look. I want to see a cool thing. Put in Upper Deck hardwood, LeBron James, right? And there are cards, but in terms of cards, they're oversized, cool, memorabilia pieces with a piece of a jersey of LeBron, and it's a hardwood, and it's signed by LeBron, a piece of wood. You're gonna try to pull one up?
Did you know?
LeBron, nice, please. Well, because, dude, that's what you do. You see me, I'm on the screen, and you try to pull it up. That's just how it works. It doesn't take much. Look how easy it was.
Do you see it?
I see the screen, but yeah, I mean, that's one of them, not the best looking one, but that's an example of a LeBron hardwood. Sort by most expensive. Well, that's actually
he's never been the best looking athlete, Cage. So there's nothing I can do about LeBron.
No, there are ones. I've seen Jordan ones, seen LeBron ones where it's actually that's a card. There's actually a bigger piece of hardwood that has relic into it. It has an autograph on the wood. I guess it's not there. Maybe it's incompleted. I'll try to find one.
Can I make an observation, Cage?
Please.
Since PWCC is no longer on eBay looks
yes. Yeah.
Right?
There's a lot less stuff on there.
And it's not even that there's a lot less stuff because there's way less. It's the quality of stuff too. It's really kind of. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that.
Anyway, so the point is there are cards out there. Like there will be, I'm sure Panini will find a way to make Luka cards up. Maybe they'll do a Luka release. Maybe they'll do separate Luka stuff. Maybe they'll do something with one of the DJs. Top seems to like DJs nowadays. Steve Aoki has his own cards. DJ Ski has his own cards. There's all kinds of stuff. Maybe Panini will do something with those guys. Maybe you'll get like a Luka dubstep card or something.
Another one.
Another one. Yeah, one of those. But I'm sure they'll find a way to do it. Yeah, I think it would make the licensed Luka stuff, pretty valuable. You see what LeBron autos are, and they're a little more limited because of that. There are plenty of LeBron, Upper Deck stuff. I see LeBron autos in like Upper Deck, both the Goodwin Champions brand,
Not a
so
big fan of it.
like multi-sport, almost like Allen and Gintery. And they put Jordan and LeBron autos in those things. So they'll find a way to have, Luka's stuff in there. Or who knows? I don't know how long does that contract last? Is it a lifetime thing? LeBron, Kobe, Curry, KD, Prizms, and Gold in 2012, more the ceilings than the rookies, I think. Of course. Jake, more power to you. If you can find a gold Prizm of any of those guys, buy it if you have the money. I don't, nor do I think I ever will. But yeah, those 2012 Prizms gold and what you're seeing, gold Prizms from any year, that's the scarcity we talk about, right? We talk about those.
Talk about that
out of 10.
That's so different than everything that you kind of stood for maybe 2 years ago as an investor in the hobby.
Yeah. Well, because this is exactly what you talked about, the little guy, right? What's moving the hobby now is the high end, not the low end. It's the scarcity, right? It's the people who are chasing after these high end cards. It's great to flex a PMG green. I've never held one, right?
Well,
and spend them
that PMG, yeah, but like this gold rush,
the same
like
thing.
This...
It's the same thing.
Okay.
And maybe people are forcing it, right?
But not really.
But think about it, right? Just think,
how many
PMGs
of like Troy Aikman are there or Kobe? Like 10
well,
total.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Listen.
But Brady has a gold Prizm in the list.
There are additional PMGs.
6 sets.
Correct. Right. There are but the Brady gold Prizm from 2018 is not going to sell for as much as the one from 2012 or 2013. The 1921 might sell for more because it's with the Bucks, and maybe you get some Buck fans. So that that's a different scenario. Mahomes is only the thing about it though, dude, is even if you say, okay, 2012 was the first year, 2020 right now is all there is for football, right? So think about this, right? So that's 9 years of football Prizm. That means there's 90 golds total for every year combined. That's not a lot for somebody like Brady, who has obviously more than 90 people who collect him. And once there's a fire lit, right? Once the fire lit on something, people chase it. Now,
you have orange, you have blue, you have circle blue, you have black gold.
But even that, none of those are gold. Black gold, maybe. Black gold out of 5, there's a lot of 1-on-1s. Listen, I'm not saying it's something I'm personally chasing, right? 100% not saying that. Because the kabooms are different, because the kabooms aren't numbered, and who the hell knows. But I even listened to Gio the other day. He was doing a live, and he's like, yeah, kabooms, I'm not a fan. It seems to be just, it's pumped up by people who want to pump them up. The golds could be that, only the golds have legit scarcity. Like, what the numbers are, what the counts are. There's not going to be more than 10 of those. And I was thinking about talking about the golds with the 2012s. So that was a good point, whoever just raised that. But for the common man, which that's where we are. And that's woman. Who we're and woman. Nobody wants to be at a party with 5 tables and no women at it. I agree with that 100%. So, but more importantly, we don't really deal in the golds. You know what I mean? Like, it's just our audience is not buying golds. At least not too many of you. If you have them, more power.
Did you guys see that post from Card Talk? By the way, I thought it was hilarious. The 5 tables.
I'm thrilled we made it. 5 tables with 1 empty space and 5 other people means the top 25 people in the hobby, and both of us are there.
Well, it's definitely not the top 25. There were no women at the tables. But what I would have done if I was a woman is I would have created another one with all women, and I would have thrown shade and said, "Have fun at your sausage fest, gay boys." So that's where I would have gone. That's not from me. That's a quote from The Hangover.
Hold on, I'm getting another call.
Canceled?
You were canceled. We were all just canceled. The whole thing is
canceled. Let's go UFC. Let's go UFC. So, a little V-Friend action here. What's up, Andrew? Do you know the name of this V-Friend cage?
No, it looks like some sort of a gladiator or a warrior. What do I think about the 26 Pride FC set? It has rookies of Anderson Silva, Fedor, Krokop, Nogueras, and many MMA greats. So, Andrew, I'm going to give you a demerit because you have, with this question, revealed that you have not listened to all of our episodes. And you have to go back and you have homework tonight. We only have 437 episodes. You have to listen to all of them. Okay, there's your homework. You can message me when you've listened to them all.
You are allowed to listen on 1.5 speed, which is like 6x if you really kind of listen
because
to Cage.
I speak really fast. But I not only did I give those, it's a kind warrior. I like it.
Just answer a question. Don't give any comments on the V friend.
So, very, very, very straightforward. I like the 08 Ring Kings. I gave the 06 Pride FC set also as a play because it is the first MMA set and does have a lot of those. And I give specifically the Sparkle cards, which are really awesome. They're like rookie cards of like Rampage Jackson has one, Spider has one, Nogueras have one. I'm trying to think who else is in there. Vandalay Silva, Fedor has one, Krokop has one. I like the 06 Pride set a lot. Here's the negative on it. And I've spoken to some of my MMA friends, some of the guys that I traded cards with, a decade or more ago when those became popular. And I asked them about, hey, what was popular in 2010, 11, 12 when we were trading. It's funny, guys, because I talk about MMA a lot. I use it with the F1 world, but it'll apply to the rest of the stuff. So stick with me for a second. Pay attention here if you can. You ready? Back then, we were all chasing the same cards, right? We were all chasing round one red ink autos, which were out of 25, not number, but out of 25, of Anderson Silva, who was the champ and was just unstoppable, right? And George St. Pierre, who was also the champ at the time and was unstoppable, right? And these guys were the face of the sport. Everyone knew who they were. They were the ones selling out all of the arenas. They were the ones selling out the pay-per-views. We were chasing Vandalay Silva. We were chasing Brock Lesnar. We were chasing John Jones. Chuck Liddell didn't have an auto until main event, I think. So like the third top series was Chuck's first auto. And there was a really cool one, by the way, which I would have traded any card I had in main event. There was a 3 auto, a triple auto. If anybody has this, if you listen to this and you have this, please message me. I will buy it. There's a triple auto numbered to 10 of Dana White, Tito Ortiz, and Chuck Liddell. Now, a lot of our fans who are baseball guys and didn't do UFC, or even who are UFC guys and are now Izzy Adesanya fans and like the guys now, you're like, oh, who the hell wants that card? Tito Ortiz. Didn't he just lose in like a street fight? Where he was fighting like, Joe Biden's nephew or something? Like, I don't know what was going on. It was just one of these like horrible like fights. Yes, he did. He lost. I forget who the hell he was fighting, but he got starched. But back then, these were what we were chasing. So I've asked my pals from this arena, hey, you're selling cards? Yeah, I'm selling. Oh man, the Conor stuff is flying off the shelf. People love the Conor stuff, and people love Khabib, and people love these cards now, and yeah, Conor. And I said, well, what about like Chuck? And what about Rampage? And what about Spider Silva? Because I had more Anderson Silva cards than anybody in the world. Trust me. What about Anderson Silva? What about GSP? What about round one? You know what they say? All uniformly say the stuff we were all chasing a decade ago, nobody wants. All the other stuff has gone 10, 20, 30x. But those cards are basically trading for exactly what they were trading for. So the 06 stuff, if you're a UFC person, if you're an MMA person, if you're a Spider person, if you're somebody who likes, I guess, vintage as much as vintage 06 can be, maybe it'll turn to that. Maybe eventually people who are real UFC fans and are buying the cards now will look to those older sets and be like, wow, this was the first one. This was the first release. I can look back at this and, yeah, I'm a LeBron guy or I'm a Luka guy, but let me get a Wilt Chamberlain. That's what this set is like. But for right now, those prices are not moving. People don't want them. And why you should think about this is because if you are all in on a young star now, right? Even somebody who's great, give me an example. I mean, you love Bradley Beal, right? You could be all in on Bradley Beal now. I think he's going to be the scoring champ multiple times, you name it. In 10 years, unless Bradley Beal does something great, even if he does, nobody's going to want his cards.
No one remembers how good Tracy McGrady was.
McGrady, right? McGrady, and so it's a very interesting thing to think about when you're expanding your view out about your collection over time, right? We're all collecting these guys we love now, and they may be good investments now for this year, for next year, for the next 3 years, But if you expand the lens a little bit, 10 years from now, nobody's going to want Anthony Davis cards. Seriously. And as great as he is and how awesome his eyebrow is, it's not going to matter. No one's going to want his stuff. So just something to think about.
All right, let's go with this. When will we reach the ceiling on hobby box prices? With the prices of hobby boxes going up exponentially each year and the value of base, common, parallel, singles decreasing, the possibility of breaking even on a box break is next to impossible. And Andrew says, thank you for answering the question.
You're welcome, Andrew. He is a kind warrior. I love it. I have some of those cards, by the way. If you want, message me. Maybe I'll send you one. I have some of those foils. I have just, they're in the Magic basement. But so this one about hobby prices, this is supply and demand. It's an easy answer, right? Hobby prices, the box prices will go as high as people are willing to pay for them. And ultimately, yes, that depends a little bit about Panini and a little about the value, right? These optic basketball boxes sold for $800 last night, right? People bought them direct from Panini. They sold out $800, $850, whatever they are. People are going to watch lives. People are going to watch breaks. They'll see the breaks like mine, where I got someone named Mullins was my one auto. He played for Golden State in like 1920.
Chris Mullin?
It wasn't Chris Mullin. It was like people were asking if it was Chris Mullin's dad, and it was Mullins. I think he might have played for the U.S. Olympic team when they played Russia. I don't know. It's not someone I know, and I've watched a lot of basketball, and I'm old. But I think the guy was like before my time even. And to get that as your one auto while Ian's opening, and he's like, what the hell is this? Jeff Mullins. Yeah, Jeff Mullins. That's the auto I got in an $800 box. Thank you, Panini. So people will see that and be like, I'm not paying that. And then that may hurt the continued sales. It may hurt the breakers. It may hurt they may call the distributor and be like, what the hell is this, right? Like, how am I supposed to break this stuff for $800 when this is the trash that's in it? Possible. But ultimately, look, it's sold out. It's sold out at the price they put quickly. And I think breaking, it's a great question because it's how I used to look at breaking also. Last year, 2 years ago, it was like, all right, PSA's open. I'm going to break this box. I'm going to spend $100 on it. If I hit a whale, great, I'm going to make my money. If not, I at least know that I pull the rookies out. I pull some $5, $10 cards out, and I send them to PSA. I add a little bit of, PSA $10, $12 bulk. They come back. I get a couple tens. I know I'm going to get my money back, right? Or maybe make some money. That's not happening right now. But breaking has shifted, right? And Andrew's going to hate this, but there's a gambling aspect to all of this, even in NFTs, right? The whole opening the pack, hoping that you're getting something that's a little bit better than the rest.
Gambling is not all created equal. Like if you're gambling and you have no upside and tremendous downside, that's not the same as why NFTs in just this specific example are interesting is because you have tremendous upside. And yes, you still have that downside where you go to zero or near zero, but you have that tremendous upside. You used to have that with breaking.
I think the breaking to me is becoming like a slot machine. All right, sure, you can get some cherries and keep you going along every now and again, and maybe you get something that keeps you even for a little while. But ultimately, you break, you're going to lose all of your money in breaks. There is, of course, a chance for a jackpot, and that's what's keeping breakers going, right? I mean, I think it was Pull Wax, Mikey's company, that just pulled the Prizm Luka Nebula 1/1 out of a pack. People see that and they're like, all right, well, let's put another coin in the slot machine, pull the lever, and maybe I get that card. You know what I mean? That's always going to be there for breaking. Unfortunately, it wasn't always like that. It wasn't an all or nothing proposition. It used to be something where you knew you were going to get something out of boxes, and now it's very little. There's very little that you can do with the majority's boxes, but just always that gamble, that hope for a huge hit, right? That huge upside, just like you're talking about. I don't know that I answered the question. I don't think there is a cap on what boxes can go for. It's really just what the market is willing to pay. I buy a lot less wax, and even I have like an LCS hookup where I call them $800 boxes. My LCS only charged me $450 for my boxes, right? Even though Panini had them for $800, and I'm sure he only paid $200 or whatever the heck it was, right? So, but Jeff Mullins for $450 is still a rip. So I'm not buying any more of that crap. Ian wants to open boxes.
Until next Friday.
Hybrid. No, we'll open up like that football box I opened was an $85 box.
So real quick, go ahead.
No, go ahead. MMA rookie cards. Yeah, go ahead.
At MMA Rookie Cards. Give them a follow. At MMA Rookie Cards if you want to check it out. MMA fans out there. Tom Bullard says, sincerely appreciate the daily content. Looks like you're a little guitar player. All right, Tom, I see you. Question about Prizm Baseball from Jason Epstein. Cage, what's your take on Prizm Baseball?
Dude, you know who's asking this question?
Yeah, collectible. I know everybody.
What's my take on Prizm Baseball? That's a great question. So a quick story. Poor Jason. Jason, you're gonna feel bad that you left this out. It doesn't matter that you're a sponsor. I'm an equal opportunity lighter upper. So this is a fun story about kids, right? The fun story about kids. Sometimes dads know less about the hobby than their kids. Ian sometimes teaches me about the hobby. So Jason, myself, and a whole table, including Andrew, we're at the East Coast National. And we're talking cards, we're talking NFTs. Somebody told me to buy a CryptoPunk that day, and I should have listened because they went like 10x after that. But in any event, we're talking cards, and I open a Prizm box of basketball hobby with Ian, where we had just sold a whole bunch of cards. Ian sold a whole bunch of his collection. It's like, I want to open a basketball hobby box. He got destroyed in this box. But Jason's son and my son were playing. They were running around, you name it. And he says to Jason, he goes, hey, go in and get me a box of Prizm also. You know, like, I want to open a box. You open a box, I open a box. You know, it's this kids. You know, I want what they have, right? So Jason goes in, and he comes back out with a Prizm hobby box. But it's baseball. And his son says to him, that's not licensed. I don't want to open that. I mean, it's amazing how these kids know, right? So anyway, I kind of like Prizm Baseball. It is not licensed, but I think because it's not licensed, you get a lot more stuff in it. You get a lot more hits. You get a lot more autos. Panini has to put more stuff in those boxes because of that. So, seeing a dad, struggling and drowning with his son, giving him a hard time, I decided to maybe throw him a lifeline. And I'm like, how much you pay for that? You know what? The show's closed and I need to open a box. I'll pay you $10 more than what you paid. And his son was happy because, look, they made a deal and they closed it out. We took it home. We opened it. I did not get my money's worth in that box, but it was cool. I like opening those boxes. We got, what's his name? Ryan Moncastle, the Baltimore rookie. We got a gear auto out of him, which is cool because you'd figure a top rookie, RPA is a big card, but it's not. It doesn't. I think it sells for like $50, maybe. So Prizm Baseball. Prizm Baseball is pretty soon going to be the same thing as Prizm Basketball, isn't it? So, Jason, even though you were not asking it for this reason, it is going to be interesting to see what happens going forward. Will basketball Prizm, if they keep printing it, Panini, as an unlicensed product, will it become the inferior product to whatever Fanatics is putting out there? Will people still buy it because of the history of it? And if they keep making these Prizm products unlicensed, and basketball is a successful product, even though it's probably not going to be as great as it is now because not licensed, will that eventually pull the baseball product up? Because what we see is Prizm football, Prizm basketball, they are top flight products. But in 10 years, when Fanatics is the licensed thing, will people look back and say, all right, licensed, not I don't even remember what year Prizm was licensed. Could Prizm Baseball actually be a good play? Should we be going for those Fernando Tatis Prizm cards? Should we be looking at the 2012 Prizm Baseball as a cool first set also, even though it's not licensed? Because 20 years down the road, people will be like, wait, what years was Prizm licensed?
You know what's fascinating?
Go ahead.
And this is why we told you guys, get on Panini NFTs, whether you're investing in them or not. No one cared that Panini Prizm Baseball was unlicensed.
I was surprised by that.
I was. I mean, we called each other. I was like, "How does this make sense? How is Ohtani or Tatis,
Trout
outselling Luka
and Curry?
And they're out. Listen, I mean, I remember calling Cage. With cards, people seem to care. With these digital cards, I don't want to call them NFTs. These digital cards, it didn't seem that people cared. So, and I like that, Cage. I like when we have a thesis and the market proves us wrong. I think there's something cool about that because it makes you, it humbles you, but it also makes you look at the market differently. So we got a cool comment here. Let's talk a little bit about NFT. So Brendan Anderson says NFT Rhino here, loving the diversity of this discussion. I don't know cards, but I'm enjoying it. Appreciate it. Thank you, Brendan.
By the way, before you get to Joe LeConte, I love you, man. Before you get to that, when we talk NFTs, that's the backside of what we're talking about. Sure, we want to get our our card people into the NFTs and talk about that as well. We definitely do, right? But we're also bringing in NFT people into cards. I mean, that's somebody who we brought in to the Discord who is in a bunch of NFT stuff. Maybe he starts opening cards up. Maybe he becomes a huge fanatic collector. You never know, right? And
why would he though? The card community would tell him go fuck himself.
I doubt all of them are going to say that. Remember, this is the way it works. People have a lot of money invested in these things, and the people who are saying no to NFTs now, I'm telling you, because I've been in this longer than a lot of those people have. All right, I saw this when, you ready? When PSA came in. I was at shows where PSA was laughed out of the building by all of the established hobby. I don't need those guys. What do I need a PSA for? Why does the hobby need somebody grading their cards? I'll tell you what the grade is. You're buying this card. It's excellent mint. It's near mint, right? This card is, I don't need somebody putting an 8 on my thing. How do they know it better than me? I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of the same stuff going on. It's a lot of the same, like, why? Because these people were invested in their own cards, right? They had their own stuff. And somebody coming in and talking about doing something different for a similar group of people that may hurt what they're doing, all of a sudden they're going to be negative on it. And that's, I mean, I guess it's typical, right?
Let's talk about doing something different. So I love that you went there.
And don't forget about Joe Locanti.
That's where I'm going right now.
Okay, good.
We're riffing. And so another question about the NFT. Can you talk more about the Tiger Club NFT fund and how profits will be shared with holders? And if someone owns multiple Tigers, do those holders earn more rewards than someone who owns just one? Sounds a lot like a dividend. Cage, any thoughts?
Well, so let's make sure everybody knows, right? So we'll be publishing all kinds of information on this. Wednesday, 9/22 is when the release is. This particular fund, the Tiger Club fund, think about it like World of Women, guys, if you're an NFT person, right? There is going to be a specific trait. In the World of Women, the trait was World of Women earrings and necklaces, right? If you had both of those traits, that tiger, those people who had that woman, that particular NFT, they were in the club, right? And that club shared in royalties. There was another one with an art necklace, right? It was wearing any woman who had that art necklace, which I happened to actually mint one.
You just bought the necklace. You mean the NFT? And why is it so dark where you are?
I don't know, because it's dark, man. It's getting late. It's 7:00 at night. So would you like me to go turn the light on? Would that make you happy? Shall I turn the light on?
It's just very dark where you are.
Hold on.
You don't have to.
You're gonna have to keep the attention of the audience. Don't leave, guys. I know you're here for me. I will be back in 5 seconds.
What do I do? What do I do with my hands, Cage? Oh man, no. Wow, it's so much better with the light on. It literally looked like you were sitting in a dungeon.
Oh, it was the plungeon dungeon. Right. So, when we started this, it was light, and then when we kept going, it was dark, and I didn't want to leave. So it got dark. It is what it is. Light, dark, two sides of the same thing. So
anyway,
the art
necklace,
right? Very quickly. So the ones that had that specific trait, right? They are part of a fund. In the Tiger Club, we will announce what trait it is, right? We already know what it is. We don't want people going crazy finding trait. But once these things sell, we'll announce what trait it is. A set number of the Tiger NFTs will have the trait. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using some of the funds that people put in buying this. We're going to start a fund, the Tiger Fund. We're going to buy NFTs. There'll be another group of Tiger NFTs. Let's call them, I don't know, call them the Zookeepers. We haven't come up with a name yet. Maybe we'll let you decide, right? Those people are going to be able to choose. They'll each have a vote. They'll choose what we're buying in the fund, right? If you see a cool NFT minting next week, the Robo Warriors, I don't know what it's going to, the Crypto Dads, whatever it may be, and you guys vote, that's the one you want to mint, we will use the funds from what you are paying, to get these tigers. We'll use those funds to mint those. That will now be the Tiger Fund. We'll have that fund. It's going to have NFTs in it that you guys are selecting, right, that we're buying. When those sell, the profit from those NFTs will be split up among the Tiger Club members who have the specific trait that'll be announced. So, yes.
Can I layer some fun stuff on?
Yeah. And this,
What
by
if
the way,
it's-
this is just one. Go ahead. What if?
Yeah, that's just one.
Yeah.
And think about how cool that is, right? Like with sports cards and typical investments, you get paid out or you make money when you sell something. With these NFTs, let's use Zrun for an example. Zrun is an NFT you could buy, and then you could enter it into a game. And that game has cash prizes. And those cash prizes could then be divided and shared amongst the pool of holders.
Yep.
So now you're incentivized as a collector to hold the asset. Amazing. You get paid out what we're going to call NFT dividends. How cool is that, guys? Where else do you get stuff like that?
It's like passive income for holding it. 100%.
It's very cool, and that's just the tip of the iceberg because a lot of what's happening is so new and it's being created by really, really intelligent people. So it's fun to just talk about and riff and think about the ideas, and the community itself is going to be the one that gets to decide.
Correct. And that's the cool part, guys. We're going to be doing, have this fund, which is going to be basically split between the people who own this stuff. And in our Discord, you'll get to vote on what we buy, what we do. There'll be something new that comes out. Oh, wow, we should buy a Zrun horse and race it. And the winning should be split among the Tiger holders. We should name that horse. Let's call it Luka Nation. I don't know. Call it something else. Call it NBT. If it's your call it whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, yes, there's a lot of fun stuff that's going to happen. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. It really is, a cool way for us to kind of all chat, vote, get involved in these things.
Would anything stop us from buying let's say a Jordan PSA 10 became underpriced? Could we also buy with that fund tangible card? We could.
As far as splitting it up, yeah, there's some I don't call them regulatory hurdles, but yeah, as long as we did our due diligence and made sure that we were dotting our I's and crossing our T's, sure, I don't see any reason why not.
For you more sophisticated NFTers out there, and we'll move to another question. Look up this concept that's called the DAO, DAO. So it's bigger than an NFT, and I think I'm not going to do it justice explaining it here. We'll talk about it on our NFT show. We'll talk about it on our NFT content. But that's really the direction we're going. And it's going to be really, really fun to build something with a community. So,
listen, I like the idea. I got to tell you that, there have been a lot of people say, hey, how come you don't have, a way for us to just send you some money? Seriously. What is it called? Patreon.
No, you mean OnlyFans can't, Cage. We can't.
I have that. So Patreon, like, oh, we'll just send you money. Or why don't you guys come up with a VIP level where you're given a separate episode, plays before everybody else gets them. We're not doing that. But this allows all of you to have that access, to be in the Discord, to have another way of interacting. I'm telling you, Tiger owners are going to get on an episode of Coffee with Cage. Tiger owners are going to be guests on our episode. You're going to actually be the guest. You want to talk about whatever you want to talk about? You got your own thing going on. You want to talk about what cards you're auctioning off? You can become a guest on a week where you've sent your cards to PWCC and come on and talk about them. You know what I mean? Like, you can use it for whatever it is. What we're doing here, guys, I don't want to talk it into the ground. It's almost like sales pitchy, but we've watched the best NFTs over the last couple of months, like Gary's, like World of Women, like Space Punks,
Crypto Punks, Apes, Lions.
We've watched them all. We've watched the community building. We've watched the cool utility that they've all layered in. And we've taken all of the best things and we're going to add them to ours. So that's,
But the reason we can do that, explain why we can do that. Because we're not going for a cash grab. We're going to stay here long term and use that investment to reinvest into the fund is just one example. So that's enough for these hobbyists. They're going to jump through the screen.
Yeah, they're going to leave. I don't know. I can't see the amount of people on YouTube, but I'm sure we lost a few.
No, it's been one of the most popular. We were up to 40. It's been one of the more popular ones, and this is a new time slot, right? Oh, by the way, Whatnot tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. You guys better be there in numbers,
guys. I don't know if you've seen it, but we are giving away a PSA 10 Luka, a PSA 10 LeBron. And it's a BGS 8.5. So I don't think there are any 10s. BGS 8.5 of the Masters rookie of Tiger Woods. I bought that card myself before they went up. I think I paid $500, $600 for it myself.
What?
Yeah. I think I paid $500-600, but it's definitely a very valuable card.
Can I give people a hint of the collectible episode? This week, everything was kind of down, maybe 1-2%. The only thing was up, Tiger Woods, and that's in. What's coming up is the Ryder Cup is coming up. So
there you go.
A little bit.
Well, this Tiger. It's a giveaway. You got to be on. You got to be following us. So if you're watching this and you're not following us on Whatnot, please get on Whatnot. It's Luka Nation. That's our account. We'll be live 10 a.m. tomorrow sharp. And what's cool, just a quick little promo on Whatnot. I've loaded up already 10 auction items on there. Nothing crazy, nothing expensive. It'll be fun. Just, if you've never done Whatnot before, you can get a feel of their auctions, their process. I'm sure a lot of you, it's the first time on Whatnot. It'll be my first time doing Whatnot, Andrew's as well. But, I got a Trevor Lawrence lot. I got a Burrow lot. I got a Herbert lot. I try to do your quarterbacks, I have a Joe Burrow PSA 10. I got a Tua lot. I got a Tua Prizm Silver. I got a Tua Auto. So we got some cool stuff on there, and whatever they sell for, they sell for. You probably get some bargains just because nobody's really going to be, expecting any kind of auction stuff. We got our plays, we got our picks. And if I'm allowed, before we get too long on the episode, Whatnot, just a real professional bunch over there. I mean, really did a great job with the onboarding process, walked us through it. I'm not the most tech-savvy person in the world when it comes to a lot of these apps, and they even made it easy for me, which is cool. And it is a cool, very slick app. The user interface is easy. I can't wait to be, chatting with you guys tomorrow on there. I'm sure the chat will be fun. It'll be interesting. Everybody can tell Andrew how crazy he is when he picks the Browns. And fun stuff like that. We'll be able to, there'll be some.
I'm taking it seriously. It's kind of a reverse of roles. Cage has to do all the kind of the heavy lifting with the tech. I'm going ahead. My goal for the year is 65%. That's where I'm going for with you guys. 65% winners. So
he was 55% was what he predicted last week. He wanted to be 55%, and he had a
shit week. 55 is profitable.
And he said he had a shit week. So now he's really got to go. He's got to go.
Thank God you don't transcribe our shows. Thank the Lord.
You said you were shooting 55%.
I said 55% is profitable because you need to have risk management. I also said week 1 is crazy, so don't overextend because there's nothing to. There's no. Cap.
You know what I hear? You know what I hear? I hear, guys, I predicted that I was going to make winners for you, and I am John Anthony, and my name is Andrew, and I've not really been good at anything so far for 437 episodes, but don't worry. I'm going to give you NFL winners. I'm going to pick winners, and then I go 2-6.
So quite the endorsement, guys. See you tomorrow. I hope you're excited to lose money by listening to Andrew.
Dude, you're not going to lose tomorrow. You said right off the bat week 1 was not your week. Week 1 is a feeling out period. But I'm not going to not let people know that you went 2-8.
You've changed the numbers every single time, and they've always made me look more and more progressively terrible. This is the worst thing I've ever heard. I want to.
Well, listen, not all of us can go 2-9. I mean, 2-9 is difficult. You actually have to try to go 2-10.
What the fuck? Is now a good time to buy baseball? Specifically, I'm looking at guys like Acuna and Soto. Seems like they're flying under the radar right now. I'm going to actually layer on a question. If the Padres, which they're very much in danger of missing the playoffs, do Tatis's cards take a hit?
I think he's going to win the MVP. Acuna's injured. Acuna is definitely away. Is one we've been looking at. We talked about him in our on the fractional episode with Collectible. A couple of Acuna cards on there, and obviously even if you're not buying that huge gold one that they have there, most of his cards have come down significantly because he's just been out of sight, out of mind. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you might be able to get some Ohtani bargains soon. Because, Andrew, I don't know if you're able to do this pretty quick, but can you punch in while I'm talking here AL MVP odds currently? Because if you went back 2 weeks, Ohtani was a runaway winner. And we've talked about, I gave Vlad as a play. I talked about how Vlad was a potential Triple Crown winner. He's not going to because Sally Perez has him in the RBIs and he's expanding it, but he's winning the batting title and he's got the most home runs. And
Ohtani's minus 2,000
still. So I'm surprised it's that much. I don't know when the odds are, but you know your odds. So I'm sure that's the case. I'm surprised the gap hasn't closed.
Keep that energy tomorrow.
Vladdy Guerrero might be a little more, might be a value play right now because I don't know when the last time you had an MVP who batted in the 250s. And Ohtani's been a little bit of a slump, right? And there was a very smart guy who did an All-Star episode who said, I don't care that Ohtani has 33 home runs now. He's not going to hit more than 15 in the second half because that's what the stats show you.
He's still at 44, Cage. He's
still at 44. He's got 11 home runs in the second half. And he's batting like 256 or something like that. He's still obviously the favorite for the MVP, right? But if he doesn't win it, right, and the team kind of collapsed and his prices come down because he kind of tailed off, and 44, 45 home runs doesn't sound like, when I made that play, the articles were all like, why is Ohtani going to hit 60 and have the best season of a baseball player ever? Those were the titles of the articles, right? He's not, right? 45 doesn't
Bold
sound
prediction.
like, woo, you know? So maybe if Ohtani stuff comes down, you might be able to get a little bargain on that. Vladdy Guerrero, he is still flying sort of under the radar because of Ohtani's season. There are not that many people who have Triple Crown numbers. A couple sneaky plays, right? The National League,
I have a sneaky baseball play too.
Sure. Bryce Harper is, I think, first or second in batting in the National League. He's having another good year, approaching 40 home runs and, doing one of those kind of things. It's just, the guy gets no love, but eventually, because he started so young, when it's all tallied up, he's going to be putting up crazy numbers for his career if he stays healthy, which is always an if. I know that wasn't one of the guys you mentioned, but Harper's always been one of those guys that I just, I think everybody expected him to be Ken Griffey Jr. He has been a notch below that, maybe 3 notches below that. But when the numbers are all tallied up, what Bryce is doing, people are going to have to stop and take a look. What's your baseball play?
Bo Bichette.
All right, Toronto. I mean, Toronto.
He's a guy that's overshadowed, but he has the it factor. He has that it factor.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of guys, baseball wise, who I think when the season ends and they're out of sight, out of mind, you can scoop up some bargains. So it's a great question. All
right, last maybe 1 or 2 here. So this is an interesting one. This is from Canadian sports card collector. Yao Ming and Andrew Luck had similar careers. Interesting comparison. Ming still has high demand while Luck prices are cheap. Is this more due to Ming's international appeal or the sport? Is either under or overrated in your opinion?
Okay, so Ming is all about the international appeal. Yao Ming he was a huge name. It was a huge thing that he came over and he played. Basketball is huge in Asia. We all know this. I mean, Kobe was huge there. There are huge collectors there. And Yao Ming was one of these, like, once in a generation, maybe once in a lifetime, type of things where, a whole country rallied behind him. And that's why his cards are valued the way they are. It's also basketball. And yes, basketball does reign over football. The problem with Luck is that he never amounted to what people thought he was going to amount to. I mean, Ming, no one really thought Yao was, the championship guy who was going to be the best player in the league. He was a force. Andrew Luck, he was one of those, like, clear-cut number 1 draft picks. He came out of, Stanford, I think. And he was one of these, like, okay, can't miss. And he was drafted. See, people forget this, right? The Peyton Manning saga was an interesting one, right? Manning got hurt, and the Colts were terrible. Like, it was, Manning was injured, and the Colts had an awful year. It was almost like a tank year, and it worked out perfectly because it was the year that Andrew Luck came out, and Andrew Luck came out of the draft, and people were like, wow, Andrew Luck's going to go to basically a Super Bowl team here. Obviously they were terrible. They weren't a Super Bowl team without Peyton Manning, but, he's on a good team. The Colts are a good team. They have all this great stuff going on. He's got all these great offensive weapons. And instead of him taking the Colts team that Manning, took to the promised land, it was Manning who went out there and took a Denver team to the Super Bowl. And then Luck retired early, right? Which, say what you want, it's probably great. He probably, saved himself from further injuries. The guy had an injury-riddled career. But what you're left with him is a what if kind of career, right? Like, could his cards go up had he won some more? And you have to be one of these iconic guys of the time for the early retirement to matter. In football, I can think of 2 names guys who left at the peak of their careers, and they still have kind of like a cult following. But
Barry Sanders.
Sanders is one, and Jim Brown, by the way, is the other one. And he left. He started doing movies and stuff like that. Awesome fireball in Running Man, the '87 classic one, not this remake baloney. So,
but that's a big point. Like he went and did media. He went and did something else. You gotta and Yao Ming does that. A lot of people don't realize Yao Ming is, I think, the ambassador of the NBA in China.
Yep.
He's still very much involved with growing the game globally. I don't think Andrew Luck is doing any of that currently, even though he could. He's a really smart guy.
Yep.
Cage, let's wrap up here. Two questions from people about our NFT, so I wanted to wrap up here. If you guys want to jump off, feel free. Whatnot tomorrow, we'll see you at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's going to be super, super fun. Then we have the fractional episode tomorrow night. Cage, let me ask you this first. So what fun plans do you have for the National next year? Any Luka Nation party? Question from Hoops and Cards. What's up, Gary?
What's up, Hoops and Cards? So yeah, I mean, so we could talk about the NFT, right? The NFT, we are everybody who gets one. It's an access token. So we said we took things that are great in your, in the different NFTs that come out. One of the things that Gary V did with V Friends is every single one of them is access to, VCon. There will be a TigerCon, most likely at National, because that's where most of you who are card folks will be at one given point in time. Like we can all say we're going to have this convention in Minneapolis in January, and who's going to want to come? It's going to be cold, and who wants to go to Minneapolis? But instead, the National, a lot of you are already going to be there. We might as well. What you say? Is it bad? No. Minneapolis.
Well, the reason he's having it in Minneapolis,
I know.
The esports team is there.
Yeah, but we don't have an esports team yet. We will if that's what the community wants in Discord, right? If that's what they tell us to do, to take this and buy an esports team. And what's the guy's name? Booga? Right?
Booga. Do you know what actually we want to do? And this is like long term, is buy a sports team. Like that's going to be cool. And I think
there's a flag football team for sale. There's football team for sale.
I'd want to own an NBA team or a soccer team.
All right. NBT, shout out to him, said we should sponsor like a little league team and whatnot and call them the Lucas Tigers because that's a cool name. Who are we? Lucas Tigers. And that's pretty sick. No, but yes, we are planning on doing something there. If the community decides that they want to do something else and they don't want to have something at the National, we'll do something else. But yes, I think it makes sense for that Tiger Con to be sort of like a gathering there, whether it's a huge trade night, whether it's an all day thing where we're taking one of the hotels, I think it's in Atlantic City, and renting something out. This way everybody can kind of meet, everybody can kind of do their thing. Sure.
So last one, Wax Pack Legends. What have you learned from the process of creating Lucas Tigers NFTs?
Oh, we're still learning. But what have we learned? That we have built an amazing community. We built an amazing community who are curious. We got a very curious bunch. And while it's not everyone, for the most part, the folks who listen to us, the folks who are regulars, the folks who are with us daily, they're willing to expand that curiosity into something new. And we love that, right? Not every community has that. Not everybody has that willingness to try something new. And I think that alone is going to make this a success. We're going to be able to do new things. We know that our community is going to be with us there, trying those new things out. I think that's why we're going to win. And we're going to wrap it there.
Thanks, dinner time at the Cage House. It's dinner time at the Cage House. I know because someone's using the microwave. The internet's cutting out. So you guys.
No.
My internet's fixed. So you're going to get clear skies from here on out. But Cage, I think he's got some leftovers. Someone's making food in the microwave. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. sharp. On Whatnot, then we have the fractional report. Then we have an awesome slate of games all day. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to bring the fire. I'm going to make sure that we make money and we deliver for you guys. Cage, I hope you could say the same. Thank you, Luka Nation.